Job done, much easier to tie on. This one, I call it, well, it's called the uni knot. Again, it's for sort of bait fishing, lures, anything like that. It's a pretty basic knot, but it's a good one because it doesn't slip much. Tag end comes up through the eye of the hook. Bring it round. Leave yourself a good, 3-4 inches here to work with, maybe a bit longer. So you pinch, use your fingers and just pinch it so the tag end and the main line are both parallel. And then you just roll the main tag end. Now, see, it's difficult for me to tie this because I'm trying to work around the camera. 1. Okay, it's out. I'll do it very, very slow for you. 2. Come out. 3. Nearly. Come on. And I go through there 4. I know some people use 5 or 6, but I use 4. There's 4. Okay, now you can see the turns there. They want to touch up like this, up to each other. Now what I'm going to do is to pull this way on the main line. The main line is going to pull while retaining that tag end in my hand here. I'm sliding my finger down at the same time, rolling up underneath my thumb. I can feel the knot rolling under my thumb, so it pinches up, and what it'll do, it'll be a sliding knot. As you can see, I'll pull it a bit closer for you. There's the knot, so the knot's formed there. You can pull this, wrap it around, you can pull that as hard as you want, and now just watch it slide down. A little bit of spit around there, help it slip, watch, you'll see it slide now. You push it with your thumb as well, look, beautiful. Just snugs in there, pull it as tight as I can. And then get the tag end with a pair of flies and just rock it backwards and forwards like this. Okay. Again, the tag end with this one doesn't stick outwards. It doesn't stick out here. It faces more along the shank. Now you can snip it off a little bit closer, but I still don't like doing that. I still like about there. I like to leave that little tag in there just in case anything does give under there. Now this one, we'll take a few wraps and we'll give it the treatment. Now, I just saw that move a fraction where it all cinched up tight, but it does not slip out. That is 40-50 pounds effect the bench is moving. Uni knot, remember that one. That's a great one. Now, there's another one I use if you're live baiting when you don't want the knot actually biting into the hook. Well, it's not biting into it, it's fixed onto that eye. You want a swivel knot, you want a loop knot, because you might be fishing with a lure. Let's take that one out and we'll start again. Okay, now this one I call the loop knot. It's for when you want some movement around the eye of the hook. You don't want the knot cinched up absolutely tight there. You can use it on the loop, on the front of a lure. You can use it on a hook like this. If you're fishing a live bait and you want lots of action swimming around, basically the knot is not butting up tight against the hook eye. Here's how we do it. Take about 4 inches of your tag line, a single overhand loop, just like that. Okay, then you take your tag line and you come up through the eye of the hook like this, and then allow about, I guess, about a thumb width there, just about where I've got the thumb, and you take your tag end and you bring it up through the loop just like that. So you can see the little loop, the sort of knot and loop. You slide it down a bit if you want. And then you go around here, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to do 4. Some people do more, I'm doing 4. Okay, get my tag end and put my tag end through that overhand loop. Can you see that just here? You can just see it there. Now I'm going to tie this. It'll probably be a bit longer than I would use for fishing, but it just makes it easy to show you. Just start pulling it down. Get a bit of spit on there, hold the tag end at the same time, it'll start cinching down. Now I'm going to put pressure on here on the main line, and that pulls the knot down. Now because this is 70 pounds, not what I'd normally be using, I do use it for marlin though, I just rock it backwards and forwards and we'll take a good old pull at this. Now let's take a wrap on this, and it's pulling it down tight. Okay, now when I've pulled it down tight, I still give it a good tug backwards like this, just to re-tighten it, rock it backwards and forwards a bit. Now there you can see is the loop. So you can rotate, your lures can work properly, your live bait can swim around freely, and that is a really strong knot. Now you can snip the tag end off of this one. Now these, I would still leave it sticking out. As I say, they're going to eat the whole fish. It might be a 1 pound fish on the end of here that you're going to use if it's marlin, but you can use this live bait rig for anything at all. You can also melt that back with a life if you want. If you do, just put your nail or something there so you just warm it and you'll see it start to shrink back down. So there's the loop knot, and plenty of movement on it, and it is very strong. I can't break it on that at all. Loop knot, use it for live baiting and lure fishing. Okay, next one I'm going to show you, I call it a snelled hook. That's S-N-E-L-L-E-D, snelled hook. You use them for mackerel feathers, making up your mackerel feathers, or a lot of people use them for bait fishing. Now I'm going to have a trouble tying this one. I have to lean right round the camera, coming from the other side. Let's start that again. So I'm going through the eye here, leave a good 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches. Then you're going to roll this loop back. I'll move my hand so you can see the loop. You've got a loop there. And just keep my finger there. And I'm going to roll the main tag line around the main line, butting it up from the eye, back of the, or the base of the eye of the hook. That's 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. I'm only doing 5, but you can do more if you want. Some people like to use more. Then make sure that this loop's not twisted up. Put the tag end through that loop, okay? Now, do not let it all go. I've got it there, I'll get my fingers out of the way. I've got pressure on the tag end, and I'm going to, a little bit of spit on everything, doesn't hurt, doesn't go adrift. I'm going to pull downwards on this one, and it should slide. You should start to see the loop slide out of my fingers. There you go. And it's going to watch, it's going to pull this tag end tight. Now what happens is it all slides and butts up against this. It's what we used to use on spade end hooks, and a spade end hook doesn't have an eye, it just has a flattened end to the end of your hook here, which is, you know, we use it for a lot for small fish fishing, but you can use it as well. And I'm going to take my other hand away, give it a good pull down or a good few wraps. Now you can see this not really bed in, but get your pliers, work against that, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards, while you're under pressure on that tag line. Let's give it the treatment, guys. Yeah, it's not moving, and it's not intended to move. Again, don't go down here, 1/8 of an inch, about there. Snip, job done. Now that's quite rigid, that's what I call a rigid knot. There'd be no movement around the eye with this. The pull when you strike comes straight down and is transmitted straight along that shaft in a straight line, absolutely in a straight line there. If you had it tied through the eye, you can pull sideways, you know, whatever, it rotates around this rim of the eye. This one, it's located through the eye, but it doesn't roll around too much. It's pulled from further back, and that is a really strong knot. Okay, so I call it a snelled knot. And there is a variation on it. To get it off, to get that knot off, get a box cutter or Stanley knife, bing, just cut those knots off. Job done, we'll move on to the next one.